morning, everyone. This is Marta, and here you're watching Craftingnatura. This is a space where I try different kinds of arts and crafts, all inspired by plants and nature. So today, my idea is to try for the first time crochet. Well, it's technically not the first time because I was doing some patterns of the things that I wanted to do to create a bag, something inspired on this. You can see here. And the idea is to use a combination of flowers to do the different patterns in the bag, but I'm still trying to decide if I just want one flower or a different types. So so far this is what I've done. This is the pattern of a daisy, and here you can see the pattern of a sunflower. So those were the first two pieces I've done crocheting. So I promise you it's not difficult. If I can do it, you can do it perfectly. But so far I've seen some things I will change. Like, for example, the type of yarn I've been using. I'm not really convinced with it since it's a piece for summer, and I'm just sweating from just seeing the yarn that I've used here. So I probably changed to something more like this. You can see it's pretty light, and I don't know, better for summer, I would say. So yeah, I'll need to pick up something like this in the store.
A few moments later.
Okay, so I'm back from the store. This is the colors I picked, and I think they look pretty great with the green here. I think I even like them more than the ones I showed you before. So let's get started. Also, the sizes of the yarns are more or less the same, so I'm going to be using the same needle for all of them, which is going to be one of 3.5 to do all the bag. So let's get started. As a reference, I leave the approximate amount of yarn used in one square. I needed to follow a tutorial for the first two granny squares that I made. The tutorial is linked down below so that you can follow it too. Good morning. So it's clearly the next day, and so far I've been doing this only. And it took me about 3-4 hours. I'm actually curious to know how much time it takes for me to do it without following the tutorial. So as this is the size that we have, and this was the size I thought we were going to have, pretty big difference, right? I thought about changing the design because this is a square of 10 by 10, and if we make this design, it would be a bag of about 20 centimeters tall, and I think that's pretty small for what I want. So instead of that, I think I'm gonna be doing another type of bag where there is, well, like this. I'll keep crocheting until I'm halfway done, or maybe until I start the daisy patterns, and then I'll show you. updates, news. So far, I've done this in 4 days. And well, you know that it takes around 1 hour to do one square of this. But actually I found it more rewarding to be doing it like step by, step by step. But I mean, like, first you do one round of one color, maybe you do, I don't know, 3 or 4 of those, then you do all the rounds of the other color, the next one, and then you do all the rounds of the next one, and so on, so on. I found it more rewarding because you feel like you go quicker, but it might just be an illusion, you know. And also, yesterday I started with the best with the daisy pattern. And like, if I didn't do the second round of these squares, it would be a square of like 6 by 6, which is a problem since we need all the squares to be the same size. And even doing the second round of this square is not going to be exactly the same size. So I'm thinking that maybe it's not a good idea to mix the both patterns since it's not the same size. And we need them the same size. And the other thing I wanted to say is that in order then to have sunflowers and daisies, I was thinking on changing, like doing the same pattern, but changing the colors. And instead of using orange here for the petals, just use it for the center, like this one. And then the petals in white. So let's keep crocheting. So I have my 13 squares now, and it's the moment of truth. It's the moment to place them to see whether or not the size of the bag is the correct one. And so as you see in the screen, I'm using 13 squares to make this shape. And the problem here is that I was using like half. I was using 7 and 6 of these squares. But if you want to alternate the pattern and do like sunflower daisy, sunflower daisy, then you need to think that you only need 8 sunflowers and 5 daisies, or the opposite. Have that in mind before doing it, because I didn't, as you see. And also have in mind that the bag would be 24 centimeters long, and wide it would be 28, around 28. Depends also on the size of the yarn you use, but with the size I'm using, that's what I've got. So as I think it's gonna be very small, then I will be changing my idea instead of doing that. And also as I'm having 6 and 7 of these granny squares, what I'm gonna do is another design, and this one is gonna be bigger, but also it's gonna be I'm gonna be doing at one of the sides I'm gonna be using the daisy, and on the other side I'm gonna be using the sunflower. Problem here. I'm running out of green, and so what I'm gonna do is undo all this green part of the daisy, and I'm gonna be doing it in this color. And so I'm gonna finish and complete the sunflowers that I have left for this other pattern that is gonna be 9. So I have to do still 3 more, or 2, no, 4. Anyway, I'm gonna be completing that, and I'm gonna be also removing the green and doing it in brown. So it's gonna be one side green with the sunflower and the other side like this. You can also, if you want to do this other design, you can also go for a checkers board and do green and brown, or like you can use any color that you want actually. And that's the problem I have, because as there are so many possibilities and so many colors I can use, I get lost in all the different things I can create. So that's done. That's the easy part. It's incredible how you can unstitch all the stitches that you took probably hours to make. Just in a few seconds, gone. But anyway. So it's a new day, and yesterday I've been working on these things. You can see the comparison here of the colors. And yes, I didn't use the same brown, but that's okay, because I think this brown and the green much better than the other brown. And I just find them so cute. And again, like, if you like it, you can do like a checkerboard situation. But I just find that doing this in one side and this on the other side, it's gonna be more wearable in a way for me. So I have 2 more left and we will be done with the granny squares. And next step is gonna be attaching them together. So let's go, let's do it. It's our 2 final rounds. Last one, finally. Yay. Okay, so we have all of our pieces, and now let's put them together. Also, I left 1 square in both of them so that I can show you at the end how to do the invisible stitch, okay? But for the moment we have this part. Isn't this like the cutest top ever? Guys, what is this fantasy? I don't know if you can see it. Wait. Maybe like that better. What is this? It's so beautiful. And you can style it. I was testing, and you can style it like this with a pointy edge, or you can do like this. Just hide a pin here or something. And you can wear it like this, as there is now all the trend of high-waisted jeans and all that. Maybe like this is more comfortable. But guys, like I'm gonna I'm gonna finish my bag, but I'm for sure doing a top with sunflowers like this because I love it. Absolutely love it. But the process is basically the same, and you have seen it. So I'll upload something on social media, but that's gonna be it. I'm not gonna do another tutorial because it's gonna be the same, making squares. But this is awesome. I love it. I just love it. To put them together, I'm using the invisible stitch. And here I'm showing you with the white yarn so you can see better. Remember to put the right sides together and just use the outer chain stitch and chain from one side to another, making like a diagonal shape. If it's not clear, I will link the video I used down below as well. Okay, so now with leftover pieces of fabric, what I'm gonna do is the inside to cover it, because the bag has like little holes, so I don't think it's safe for the keys, for example. So I'm gonna be doing the inside, and I'm gonna be also doing like a little pocket, and with these two things I'm gonna be making like a little, I don't know, like a thingy to fish the keys. Like the keys will be here attached, and just pulling the string and you get the keys from the inside. Because you know the struggle when the bag is too big and you cannot find anything at all. Okay, so we are gonna start by flipping all of our pieces inside out and making them so that the right side it's inside. Now we are gonna align so that the bottom parts are touching. And what we are going to do is just with a color that it's more or less the same one as the one we used, we're gonna sew the edges, like the corners, together. As you see, the bag, it's bigger than, well, the inner bag, let's say, it's bigger than the cover, just because the cover it's stretchy, and the bag, well, the fabric I use for the inner bag is not, it's cotton. And now we're gonna flip it. And we are going to secure the bag all around. Now let's do the rim and handles. We have the upper rim done, and well, you will have the link of this exact stitch that I used, and now we just have to attach it to our bag. Okay, so we are finally done. Isn't this the cutest bag you've seen? It looks awesome, and I mean, I put a lot of time and a lot of effort into it, so I just love it. And well, have in mind the last steps took me around 8 hours. Luckily, I was hearing Harry Potter, so it was not as bad. And yeah, catch me up in social media because I will be posting there the updates of the top that I'm gonna be doing with the same flower. And yeah, see you soon.